Welcome to the PS reports. So this video is a wraparound video of a video that has already been done, which is titled 5 Questions with Andrea. So sometimes when I make a video, literally like as soon as I make it, it's out of date. It's no longer accurate. New information has come forward, etc. So I try to update those as they happen. In this case, literally the information changed almost as soon as I made the videos. So I'm going to put them all together. So this video is a wraparound all of those other videos. And so long story short, as I said, I started editing these and it changed. So what I'll do is conclude this video and let you see all the other videos, and hopefully that'll clear things up. All right, thank you. To the PS reports. So this segment is going to be 5 questions with Andrea. So we'll just kind of get started because there are 5 videos. So the first one starts right now.
Hello, my name is Andrea Weiskircher, and I'm responding to your first question is what is my thoughts on the statement from the Idaho Department of Corrections since ITOW came out. I feel like they restated a policy that isn't followed and that they have a tolerance that they don't think is zero because they tolerated it for me and they tolerated it for all the employees who did it to me and swept it away.
So what Andrea is saying about the tolerance and the willingness of staff to look the other way or actually be completely involved is completely accurate. I reported PREA many times, and every time I reported PREA, the focus wasn't on protecting the offender, it became about coming after me, which was bizarre. It took me a long time to figure out that the reason why that was happening was there were PREA violations occurring literally everywhere, which I was not privy to because I was not security. But oftentimes, security were the ones who were protecting for their friends. This went all the way up to the top, including one point when I was reporting PREA, where the warden basically said, "Hey, give me IRs, which are information reports. Give me those IRs with no uh, IR numbers, and you guys need to back off." So we're getting tons of reports about PREA, and this was between staff and offenders, between offenders and offenders, and it was really a big mess, and they tried to cover it all up. All right, on to the next one.
Question 2, has IDOC apologized to me or provided me with resources? IDOC, Bree Derrick, replied to me telling me that she's sorry for what happened to me and that Karen Clifford had provided me with resources 1 year later that I can access on my own, but it's not at the Department of Corrections help, and that they are free resources to anyone that you can find in the 211 Care Guide.
Two, about resources and apologies. IDOC has not apologized to the victims. At this point in time, it appears, and I hope this is wrong, but it appears that they are still blaming these victims. Just to be clear, in prison, you cannot consent to sex. It doesn't matter how attracted you are to them, it doesn't matter anything. The power imbalance is so great that it's like you having sex with somebody who's 10 years old. It's abhorrent, it's offensive, and it's totally accepted within IDOC. They continue to hire people who are not qualified, they're under 21, they have no education, and what do you expect? Feel free to go out there and look up the Stanford experiment. It's done with a bunch of students. That is what is happening right now at IDOC, but on steroids. It's shocking. So take a look at that. But yeah, no resources, no assistance, no apology. Nobody has lifted a finger to help Andrea.
3, are my PREA reports founded or unfounded? The Idaho Department of Corrections' Teresa Jones claimed that my PREAs are unfounded based on Detective Pohanka's sloppy detective work, which was falsified. They never investigated it on their own. They used the falsified police report to make the findings, and they have never changed it, even though, according to Investigate West, the governor's office has ordered them to. And I have provided several hundred messages with inappropriate photos, and it's still unfounded. Hello, it's me again, Andrea Weispercher. So as of November 21, I received an email from Director of the Idaho Department of Corrections, Bree Derrick, who stated that my PREA with Joseph Mina has been founded, and I've been assigned to a special investigator to turn over the rest of my evidence that I already turned over several times to ISP as well, which I shouldn't have to do, but this is where we're at. So one of them is now founded.
So question 3, Andrea's basically saying, hey, yeah, they're still saying that what happened to me is unfounded. Um, she provided text, pictures, everything. And the investigator who talked to her did not include any of that information in the police report. Should we be shocked about that? Well, probably not. They all protect each other, and that's why, at the very minimum, the state of Idaho needs somebody to be able to go in there that's completely independent from any and all law enforcement and walk around IDOC without anybody messing with them and basically say, I'm here to fix this problem and talk to you. But IDOC is afraid of that. All law enforcement is afraid of this, and we'll see if we can get something done at the state. But yeah, so you have somebody who has evidence and they're still ignoring that. It's pretty frightening.
And what has the Idaho Department of Corrections done since the Investigate West articles? Nothing. They have asked me, did I want it reopened? I have said several times it was supposed to be reopened, and then it's been conveyed basically that it has not been reopened, and would I like it reopened, after I've stated several times for 6 months that it is founded and provided pictures of penises to the director herself, and it's still unfounded.
So, in response to question 4, yeah, that's totally true. IDOC has not done a thing. They've issued that statement on the 14th. The governor issued a statement that the Board of Corrections is going to look at it, but that basically means there's going to be zero action or anything, which is pretty unfortunate. So, how do we help those who have been violated by IDOC staff? They are literally all out there saying, what do I do? Is this what is in front of me? And it's very scary. So I'll have a video about what you can do and how perhaps I can help you. But yeah, this is not an easy hill to climb, row to hoe, whatever analogy or metaphor you wish to use. This is not going to be an easy thing. They're not going to make it easy. So the last statement that Andrea is talking about is how there's no resources. Um, IDOC will make a great show and say, hey, we'll do these things for you, but there's literally nothing for people at this point in time. A year ago, I worked with an agency who was the Idaho Anti-Trafficking Coalition and their staff to support these victims. Um, they contacted me, and then we worked together on getting more support for these ladies. It's not just the women within IDOC, but there's also men as well. So at this point in time, you're probably saying, well, this happened. I want to come forward. How do I do so safely? Well, right now it's very limited. So you can contact me through any of these socials. I'll be glad to talk to you, assist you, advise you, whatever I can do. One thing I will say, and I said this to everyone, men and women, is you're the victim. You have been victimized, and I'm sorry that's happened. And I want to help you. And I can help you, but I have to ask you this question. And boy, did I get some weird looks because I was doing some of it on video. but also in person or over the phone. Um, but I need to ask you to stop committing crimes. If you're committing felonies in prison or out, this has to end because here's what IDOC is counting on. And this is tried and true. I watched it over the years. Somebody's rights will be violated. They'll be victimized by IDOC, and they just wait for the person to go get arrested again, pick up another felony. And so that literally makes your credibility zero. I know there are people out there who have been horrendously violated by the department on taxpayer money, and you are doing really well and you don't want to revisit this. You're the person that I need to talk to because they will believe you. And it's so hard to like convey this point. This stuff isn't going to end. More people are going to continue to come forward and say, this is a problem. The more voices we have, the more people are going to be listening. I can bring 20 people tomorrow to the state capitol, but there are people who are afraid to speak out. If you're doing everything right and you did nothing wrong, you just had your rights violated, we need to come forward with that because that's never okay. And right now, IDOC is just hoping all of you will just go away. Take a look at the Dublin thing in California and see how that went. That went on for literally decades as well. This thing in Idaho is way bigger. All right, these have been 5 questions, sort of, with Andrea. Uh, Appreciate your time. This is BS Reports. Be safe out there. Take care.